I guess I really don't know what Christmas is all about.
Cause all of these niggas be on you. I'm just saying I can be, yeah, one that you call and you talk to, girl. I'll share my world with you. If you're gonna waste your time, then waste your time with me. I mean, honestly, open your eyes and see. If you're gonna waste your time, what you need, then waste your time with me. You could have all the space, more than you need. There's no pressure, girl. If you got time to waste it with me. Don't close your eyes to get away. Bang my line and I'll arrange it. Beautiful, girl, you're stainless. You'll be fine, I'll be painless, yeah. All I'm drinking is champagne. All you want is the same thing. If you're gonna waste your time, then waste your time with me. You can have all the space, more than you need. There's no pressure, girl. If you got time to waste it with me.
Meta representatives, government communicators, ladies and gentlemen. I think let me firstly apologize that I am engaging with you on a virtual platform. I would really have preferred to have been there with you physically. But unfortunately, due to prior commitments, I'm unable to make it your event. I am, however, elated at the fact that I'm able to address you in a virtual platform. It is really an honor to address you today, the second Meta for Government Summit. This summit convenes at a crucial time as we confront the challenges of the digital age and embrace the opportunity it presents for governance, communication, and economic growth. In South Africa, we are witnessing an unprecedented transformation in the way we govern and engage with our citizens. Digital media platforms such as those provided by Meta play a pivotal role in this journey by helping us connect with citizens more directly, openly, and effectively. Government has made digital engagement central to our efforts to uplift our people and empower them to take charge of their own destiny. Through Meta platform, we can amplify this empowerment by providing educational content, job opportunities, public service announcements, and real-time communication. This indeed is a step towards creating a more informed and connected society, where government is responsive to the needs of its citizens. Program Director, at the end of apartheid and the election of Nelson Mandela, South Africa's first democratically elected president and the African National Congress government, was a moment of real optimism. The Constitution of the Republic of South Africa of 1996 guaranteed the right to freedom of expression, including freedom of the media. Considering the role played by the South African media industry, it was widely anticipated that the country would have a lively media scene, with plenty of diverse views being heard, many of them for the first time. We are witnessing that robust and lively public discourse today, as was anticipated 30 years ago. The Bill of Rights enshrined in the Constitution is a cornerstone of South Africa's democracy, Our Constitution and various courts interpret the right to freedom of expression to mean not only the right to speak and hear speech, but also the right to access the means by which to communicate. For the right to freedom of expression to be freely exercised by all citizens, information coverage, marketing, transparency, and accountability are critical to strengthening governance. By engaging citizens directly through digital platforms, government can ensure that people are informed and empowered while also upholding the ethical use of these tools to fight disinformation and ensure data protection. Distinguished guests, the partnership between government and Meta represents a significant opportunity to create lasting change in South Africa. Together, we can ensure that digital platforms are not just tools for communications, but enablers of economic growth, empowerment, and social change. Let us embrace the opportunities to build a digitally inclusive, safe, and empowered South Africa. Government looks forward to collaborating further with Meta on initiatives that promote safer online environments, especially for our youth, who are most vulnerable to this kind of abuse. I wish you a fruitful engagement. I thank you.
Which I think is key for us. We want to collaborate quite closely with government. We want to ensure that our platforms are tools where there is that engagement between government and citizens and businesses. We want to make sure that those are safe spaces as well. There isn't a prevalent of misinformation and disinformation. We work very closely with the IEC during pre and during and even post the elections. And I think we created quite a good relationship with them. We ensured that there was very little misinformation, there was very little harm that came from the use of our platforms. Thank you. My job is done for the day. Thank you.
And my job begins now. Good morning, colleagues.
Good morning.
You can't see me, I'm in the corner. I'm just letting the guests come on. Maybe take a seat. That's hard. I can't you are my participants. So take one there. This is my seat in the corner.
Somebody who's an intern, or maybe somebody who doesn't really have work to do, in the office, to now looking at social media and digital media being literally at the heart of our communication strategy. So I'm very pleased to be here, and thank you very much for joining us. I don't really have a lot of input because I was told that this is going to be an interactive session. But I thought when I was talking to, I met a colleague today, Letty, she's at the GCIS, and she's a part of the research team there. And for me, I think the one thing that, I'm not going to go into the work that I do. I had digital communications in the presidency, which implies the management of the online presence of the president and talking about the key programs of government across digital media platforms. So that means that we manage our own media platforms, including the websites, newsletters, and we then integrate social media to ensure that we are able to amplify our message, but also drive traffic to the platforms that we manage, where you can get in-depth information in terms of the day-to-day activities of the president, the presidency, strategy and messaging in terms of how we want to shape the narrative of the work that government is doing to effect change in our communities. But when I was talking to Letty, for me, what I think stands out when I look at social media and digital transformation is the need for us to really focus on understanding the environment in which we have to operate. And I do not think that we incorporate enough the research aspect and understanding the trends and what is happening in the world around us. Whereas there would have been a time where people relied on mainstream mainstream media platforms for news. Now, basically, news is no longer a commodity that's owned by mainstream media, that's owned by media houses. News belongs to anyone who's prepared to make news. So literally, anyone with a cell phone, with a point of view, whether that point of view has got a positive or negative impact in the environment around them, that becomes a newsmaker. And we need to look at how digital media has almost disrupted mainstream media. And I wanted to draw a little bit in terms of a report that I read and I'm still reading by Reuters and I think Oxford University. It's a digital news report. They publish it quite regularly. And it's basically, it reveals findings about how we consume online news at a global scale. It's based on a survey of more than 95,000 people in over 47 countries, and that represents half of the world's population. Basically, the report looks at the growing importance of platforms in the consumption of news and in the production of news, including media such as where we are operating from: TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and it explores the attitudes and the behaviors of the audiences in how they consume news, the role of people who create them and news influencers, and how much people pay for news. And the key insights from that report is that mainstream media continues to be disrupted, not just by social media, but also by the developments in terms of technology and artificial intelligence, and they're reflecting on 314 news leaders in about 56 countries, what they had to say about the media. One, we are confronted with news avoidance. People are fatigued. They are fatigued, whether it's because they're overwhelmed. I don't know about you, but I have my work emails, I have my private emails, I have Facebook. On Facebook, I have Messenger, I have comments, engagement, I have Instagram, I have TikTok, and it's a lot, like Twitter, and it does get a bit overwhelming to the extent that you almost want to, shut it out.
Also actually talks around the whole coordination and actually ensuring that there's a multi-stakeholder relation that actually exists within the environment that we operate in, and we also have that public-private partnership that exists, which is one of the, hence we actually having this event today. But I think the role of digital transformation in government has been quite very significant, and I think for us as GCIS is actually the highlights actually came more during COVID. We actually had to learn to actually utilize most of these these digital platforms to actually ensure that citizens are informed and know exactly what to do at what time and how to actually enhance themselves and keep themselves safe. But I think in terms of ensuring that right now, I'll also just talk about the issue around the utilization of data analytics as well. So, which is, I think, one thing that we really need to look at as digital communicators to actually ensure that whatever strategy that you actually take up for each of the platforms that you utilize to disseminate information on, you actually have an idea and you understand what is it, does the content that you're uploading on the platform resonate with the audience that live on those platforms. Also ensuring that your content is always inclusive. Inclusive meaning that it also needs to be translated in languages that will then resonate with the audience that actually lives on those platforms. Because also the issue around ensuring that the content is personalized in a way, because we tend to broadcast a lot of content but yet not actually ensure that it actually talks to the audience that we're broadcasting the information to. And also then actually ensuring that we utilize the analytics as well to actually ensure that we engage with citizens that also give us an understanding of the behavior, and also then getting an understanding of actually ensuring how do you then target the messaging and the contents that you get to upload on the platforms. And then with that, you can utilize AI to actually ensure that you're then able to actually have automated responses which are personalized so that a person can actually literally feel that it's not just them talking to a robot or a machine that is actually just responding to them, but it's actually more personalized. And the one thing that I think we really need to take as digital media communicators or actually professionals is that we need to understand that the sector has actually really transformed. I mean, if you look at Maestra released a report earlier this year, and they were just saying that in that report there's it actually was talking around the issue that we actually, the sector that we're in actually is going to why am I getting blocked? Okay, it's actually going to
dispensation, or in the middle of a dispensation, and we are all kind of learning and learning and relearning. And I think we were quite open-minded to, and also to find leadership that was open-minded to allow us to test our ideas. So one of the things we did in 2020 when we needed to have what we call IDP sessions, which is public meetings, they could not happen physically anymore, so we needed to have a platform that would be able to interact with the public virtually. So we did a bit of research, a lot of research by the way, and we discovered some systems, HubSpot, as well as Zoho, as well as Microsoft Dynamics, which we went into to design what we call web forms. And since then, we've been transforming the city of Joburg. So right now, if you apply for a job in the city of Joburg, you do that online. And that wasn't done by IT, it was done by our internal team. From research and testing ideas, and then requesting small budgets to test the idea, and then after that, then we request more budgets. So we implemented HubSpot system to digitally transform the entire city where possible. So we're currently sitting with about 1,000 web forms. That's 1,000 business processes that we have moved from paper to be online, integrated to our website. Meaning that if you needed to drive to the city to submit a tender document or apply for expanded social services, now you're doing it online. This saves the city a lot of money because now suddenly we are transforming from being a 9 to 5 to be 24/7, because you can apply for that even at 3 a.m. wherever you are. We also learned that actually the older model was a barrier in itself, because if you are living in Mpumalanga, what are the chances that you will drive here to submit a tender and you're not even sure if you're going to get it, or even come here to submit a CV and you're not so sure if you're going to get it. The first time we implemented this, one of the key highlights was when we were doing JAPD wardens. We got 150,000 applications. And this was the first time in the history of the city of Joburg that they got that much traffic for positions. Before that, obviously, it was physically and via email. Obviously, your email gets full and that data is not all over. There's interaction, a lot of interaction and engagement with human resources. Obviously, there's risk there. Your CV can get lost, etc., etc. So that's what we've done for our website. And in terms of our social media, we have 15 departments. And we have the largest footprint with a single account in the whole of Africa within local government. As you were saying, this we call now, they call them vanity metrics, measuring how many followers you have. We are shifting now, we're going to something much more. We're focusing on impact, I believe. And so we do have the largest following. It does create a lot of impact for us because we're driving about 3.5 billion a year in organic reach without any paid advertising, although we do spend a lot on paid advertising. So we do drive a lot of, this is with a single account, by the way.
I should have put you somewhere with no fire. Man, she not them sticks with nothing around you. Katy, Texas, Dallas, Texas, you know my different environment. She got desires. I know. She got desires.
Right now, polish 10 toes down. Yeah. Good back and shawty, don't look down. Tattoo peeking through the see-through.
You can choose who sends you messages, and I especially loved when, on WhatsApp we introduced the tool of limiting who can add you onto groups, so you have to get a group request, and to make that decision, and non-consensual intimate images of minors will be considered as that. And so we worked very closely with the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, which is a global clearinghouse for child sexual abuse material, to develop the Take It Down.org, which then allows for images of minors to be reported. So please, you can save that and talk to me after you want to. So with Moderate Assist, you're able to proactively do that, and you can also review the comments in your own time. It's available within the page settings, so within the professional dashboard. When you go there, you will find Moderate Assist, and you will take them through a menu of options on how you can use it. I will quickly go through the Instagram tools. So on Instagram, you have the ability to report, just the same way you have the ability to report on Facebook. You have the ability to block, so if you do not want to interact with an Instagram account, you can block them and also go the additional step of reporting. You can also mute, and mute just means that I'm connected with Judith today, but she's posting content about her holiday and she's giving me a lot of FOMO and I don't feel like interacting with it. I can mute her for some time. Then, once she stops posting that, I can decide to unmute her and continue interacting.
I do that 3 more times again, I testify for you. I'm so that like you, that bitch I do it all. I won't cry, you scared it. I'm not. Long if you joking, now here for me. I ain't got it. My bitch, keep me do it. I your bodies. Long as you dreaming about me, ain't no problem. I don't got nobody just with you right now. For the truth, I look better under you. I can't lose when I'm with you.
How can you monitor your engagement? How can you really look at what are your KPIs and what are the best ways to get the use of the ways that you're using these channels? So kind of just a brief background and onset. I know most of you know that WhatsApp is set up with privacy in mind. While channels themselves are not end-to-end encrypted, which way one-to-one conversations, we do have specific privacy measures in place for channels. Specifically, if you set up a channel, you're an admin in a channel, it never reveals your phone number. So that way you can still share significant amounts. You can also, if needed, as people change and as there's transition, you can also change the actual ownership of the channel. If your channel is verified, changing of the ownership does not lose the verification itself. So that's something that's quite important. I know that sometimes people are worried about that. They change the owner of a channel. How they use channels and what's ranging from using healthcare, sharing updates on pollution of what's going on, all the way to things like emergency relief, as well as sharing services updates and online information. Something that's a great example here that you see in this slide that we'll talk about a bit later as well is you can also use multi-languages, and you can also use things like QR codes. So the QR code in the second example here is on other platforms. But of course, consistency is key in terms of engagement and in terms of followers. It's not about overwhelming with the volume of information, but the consistency and regularity of the actual broadcasting. Creating this sense of urgency, creating this sense of FOMO. If I'm not following, I'm going to miss something that's time sensitive, an event, an announcement. Many of you are working across several of our platforms and potentially others as well. So the way we suggest thinking about it is if you can post the exact same content that you're thinking of for your channel on your IG.
But you can come in and maybe just add on what colleagues can actually do when they want to start channels.
Yeah, that's a perfect one. I think one of the things that we can also do that we can get in the hands of our colleagues that are there is just maybe a link behind of some of the channels.
Also wildlife organisations, healthcare organisations. I think the thing to think about with WhatsApp is the great feature of it all is all of these things land together on the consumer app for the person using it, so they don't really feel the difference between whether you're communicating with them from the business app or you're communicating from an API. And when I think about these products like on a scale, you think about you have private messaging. At the other end of the scale, you have social media, Facebook, Instagram, which is around getting people to communicate with each other, the comments. The channels really are this broadcast that sits in the middle of those two things. And what we have seen, particularly for government, that is great use cases, is not having to have somebody that needs to deal with managing the commentary. Also, we're seeing governments using it for a department. Often they'll have a spokesperson, or if they have a particular minister.
Our goal is to get you to 4 o'clock so that you can miss the traffic, pick up the kids, and cook dinner. Let's try to see if we can keep you awake. Thanks.
Okay, thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone. How are we feeling? Good. I love the energy. Everyone, on your feet. Come. You've had lunch, listen, and I'm here. I need you to look at I'd like you to go and find out what.
It's so important to be able to take key takeouts and say, there's the one thing I'm going to go ahead and implement. This is it. We have 4 apps at the moment that are currently available for you to be able to use within your ecosystem to get your messages out there, to drive the objectives and the goals that you want to be able to drive. We've got Facebook, Instagram, Messenger, and WhatsApp. And looking at the whole ecosystem in terms of how you can use this ecosystem of apps. Okay, so you always need to think about the consumer journey and the mindset of the people that you're going to be talking to. And what you want to do is you want to get great reach initially. Once you've got that reach, you've got an interested audience. Do most of you have databases? You do? Lovely. Which department are you in? National School of Government. So you have databases, right? And so when you look at a customer, maximize your get strong ROI by measuring your results. Okay, so these are the 5 areas that you can use WhatsApp for. Won't go astray.
this is the end of the vlog. Now I'm going out. The event is over. So we had a beautiful engagement. We filmed and everything, doing fake lemon from this side. And then the lighting is bad. So yeah, we are done. We're going home. Hope you guys like the vlog. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. And on my video. We're all out. Bye.